Yeah, please type in your password.
Let's go ahead and quickly open up the Internet Explorer there.
Plug that wire into the laptop.
Your entire operating system could go haywire.
It's 3:15 in the afternoon in Chicago and 4:15 in New York and 1:45 the middle of the night in India. The busiest hour of the day for the 300 or so working the overnight shift at Quattro, Inc. Quattro is an outsourcing company, and chances are you've talked to someone there or at one of its competitors about your computer, your credit card, or your mortgage.
That is 910.
In the last 10 years, India has become a global center for outsourcing.
We will make sure that you get the best resolution from our end.
An educated English-speaking workforce allows Indian business process outsourcing companies, or BPOs, to offer an array of services like tech support, billing, even legal research cheaply. In fact, about 40% more cheaply than in the United States. The starting salary at Quattro is $700 a month, a solid middle-class wage in this developing country.
If you go into malls, if you go into clubs and bars and restaurants, there is a very good chance that you'll find a large proportion of a BPO employee sitting there and spending their hard-earned money.
And he should know many of them work for him. Quattro CEO Raman Roy, widely known as the guru of Indian outsourcing, has been promoting his country for years.
When I used to go 15 years ago to sell India, an integral part of my selling kit was a globe to show people where India was. I don't need to do that anymore. Technology has made it possible to utilize people at different parts of the world. The term I use is geography is history. Distances don't matter anymore.
And India has taken full advantage of that. In 2007, outsourcing companies here did about $11 billion worth of business, representing about 1/5 of the country's total exports. But globalization cuts both ways.
We have our own challenges. We have challenges of certain infrastructure in our country.
Despite India's remarkable economic growth, 9% in 2007, its infrastructure is lagging far behind. Quattro is one of many global companies located in Gurgaon, a booming Delhi suburb where high-rise condos stand alongside crowded slums. Water has to be trucked into parts of Gurgaon, and the roads are crippled by constant traffic jams. There's power here, but much of the country remains outside of the grid. 400 million people in India have no electricity. Roy says infrastructure isn't the only obstacle to growing his business. With Indian inflation at 12%, BPO workers are demanding higher pay and more perks. So Raman Roy is taking a page from American business, outsourcing work from India to places like Mexico, the Philippines, and Singapore.
It's certainly true that India is becoming more expensive.
Hari Bhaskaran heads up Quattro's office in Singapore, where his team does financial risk analysis.
When you want to deal with international clients, this is a great place to operate out of.
No infrastructure problems here. Singapore is famously clean, organized and law-abiding, and it's now the second fastest growing outsourcing hub for US businesses.
The socio-economic climate here and even the political climate's very, very good for any kind of business activity to be done.
Singapore touts its political and economic stability, and most importantly for Raman Roy, some extremely strict data protection laws, a boon for Western clients like credit card companies.
Those similar laws are not there in India. God forbid some data is stolen, that there are laws to be able to protect it.
Beyond Singapore, Quattro also has offices in Britain, Canada and the United States, employing about 300 workers in San Francisco and Chicago. Raman Roy says that he is puzzled by Americans who oppose sending jobs offshore.
This is not about transporting jobs. This is also about competency and capability. If there were enough engineers in the United States at an acceptable price to be able to do some of the work, that work will stay there.
Roy says outsourcing is no threat to American workers, arguing that every dollar America sends offshore to India creates more than $1 back home.
My employee out of India, he or she wakes up in the morning, brushes his or her teeth with Colgate-Palmolive, shaves, those who shave, with a Gillette shaving system, have Kellogg's for breakfast, get into a Ford car to drive to office which is air conditioned by Carrier, work on an IBM machine using Microsoft operating system, go to McDonald's for a snack in the afternoon. Excuse me, how is it any different? Where is the entire revenues are going back to these? We are all a global organization.
For Worldfocus, this is Daljit Dhaliwal in Gurgaon, India.